Alright, so about a little over a week ago, Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo just went to war. Both guys were going at it. They were both bleeding like crazy. Charlo was tagging up Canelo. Canelo was lighting up Charlo for a few rounds. And then eventually, Canelo won a robbery decision. Yeah, that's what we hoped would have happened. As a matter of fact, we wished at least a fraction of that would have happened. The fight was a one-sided beatdown. Actually, why am I even saying it's a fight? Y'all call that a fight? Charlo got bullied for like 12 straight rounds. He looked like he was happy to just get in there and get a paycheck and not get knocked out. I mean, in his post-fight interview, one of the things that he said was, Canelo knocked out everybody else, but he didn't knock out me. Yeah, that's because everybody else at least tried to win. And I'm not saying that Charlo didn't try to win by taking the initiative or bringing the fight to Canelo. It's just he didn't do it enough. He didn't want to win badly enough. And it's ironic because Charlo was the one who asked for this fight. He was the one that's been tracking down Canelo for years. All this talk about once I beat Canelo, everybody in boxing will respect me forever. And then post-fight you talk about how you had to come up in weight and try to use it as an excuse to why you lost. And yes, don't get me wrong, weight certainly was a factor and it affected Charlo heavily. But again, Charlo requested for this fight and agreed to fight Canelo at this weight class. I guess that's what happens when most people fight Canelo. Their beliefs are just shattered once they're in there with him. That's how you know he's a great fighter. I think if Charlo had gotten knocked out in the process of him trying to win the fight, more people would have probably given him more respect. Because after the fight, a lot of people didn't give Charlo the respect that he desired. He's undisputed at 154, so if he gets finished by a guy who's a pound for pound great 2 weight classes higher than him, where's the shame in that? As for Canelo, I mean, he did what he needed to do. He established himself as the more powerful and comfortable fighter, whereas Charlo was bigger, but he wasn't used to this weight class. It's hard to assess his performance by Canelo for that specific reason. Charlo's a great fighter, but he's not a serious contender at 168. Canelo did everything that we knew he could do, but this fight proves one thing, and it proves that Canelo is not washed. Canelo is not declining as a fighter. He may be heading towards the end of his prime, but he still has a few good years left in him. If Canelo was really washed, he wouldn't have dominated Charlo in the way that he did. I love Tank, but the face of boxing is still clear, and his name is Canelo Alvarez. The fan base is still there, and the excitement factor is also there too. Apparently, Canelo was also injured in his last couple fights, hence why his last few performances have been a bit underwhelming. But for this fight, he claimed to be healthy. He claimed to be 100%, which is why he said no one can beat this Canelo. And this version of Canelo performed very well in this fight. Firstly speaking, his ability to apply educated pressure is phenomenal. Canelo is a front foot fighter. He can box on the back foot, but he's not as great there as if he's on the front foot. He does a great job of inching forward behind his high guard. People who don't watch boxing have this misconception that Canelo only enters the matrix when he defends against punches. They look at the Danny Jacobs fight and they think that Canelo only moves his head. No, Canelo has some of the best defense in the game because of his high guard. And he's not just walking forward and keeping his guard high. He's parrying punches, blocking punches, and moving his head from side to side. In this way, he can get close enough to load up on those big power shots. Secondly, Canelo was cutting off the ring so beautifully in this fight. In my opinion, I think Canelo cuts off the ring better than any fighter in boxing right now. The way he's able to anticipate where you're going to move and just cut you off is brilliant. Most fighters, when they cut off the ring, tend to trap their opponent and try to attack quickly, but that's incorrect because the distance is still off. So as a result, their opponent can just continue to stick and move. But with Canelo, he's very patient in his approach. He'll cut you off and then he'll feint with his lead hand to push you all the way up against the ropes. That's when he'll open up. Everything is calculated when he does this. Thirdly, Canelo was able to set up his power punches by going to the body. Canelo is one of the best body punchers in boxing. When he has guys up against the ropes with their guard high, he'll rip the body with 7s and 8s. And eventually, that's going to open up that deceptive left hook that he likes to throw. He'll feint a body shot low and then come over the top. He creates a lot of openings by doing this, and that's how he knocked down Charlo. Charlo was expecting something coming around, but Canelo came down the middle with his overhand. So overall, if I had to sum up this performance by Canelo, it was nothing crazy. Just things that we knew Canelo can do, and he showed the world that he can still do it. I do want to mention that his jab was very sharp in this fight. He easily out-jabbed Charlo in this fight. So now that we know the result of this fight, I want to address something that has been bothering me. Ever since Canelo lost to Bivol, it seems as though people believe that there is a clear blueprint for beating Canelo, or at least they believe it to be easy or simple, and that is so far from the truth. If you look at the moments where Charlo did have success in this fight, what was it? It was when Charlo was staying low to prevent Canelo from really working him with body shots and hooks. It was when Charlo tried to catch and shoot counter. It was when Charlo was throwing multiple jabs. It was when Charlo was trying to put punches together and throwing combos. That was the only time time where Charlo was able to get Canelo off of him when he pushed the volume in moments. Even if Charlo landed one good shot, Canelo just walked right through it. The power was not a threat from Charlo. And for everything that I just listed, you know who can do it better? Dimitri Bivol. It's not easy to beat Canelo in the same way that Bivol did. It takes a different level of conditioning, volume punching, defensive prowess, and technical skills. If you look at how many punches Charlo threw in this fight, he threw 400 punches. And that's not bad, but that's not good enough for a guy like Canelo. Bivol threw almost 700 punches to beat Canelo. One thing that we obviously have to note is that the fight was at 175, which is not Canelo's weight class. But it goes to show that creating space and forcing Canelo to work defensively is one of the ways to beat him. Most guys have this idea of trying to stick and move, and it just doesn't work. Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith tried that, and they all failed. With Canelo's ability to defend 1 or 2 punches along with being able to cut off the ring, it's not a matter of if, it's only going to be a matter of when he's going to catch you. But if you put 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 punches together and you force him on the back foot, your chances of winning will increase. Canelo can't easily counterpunch if you're throwing combos at him. This is what Dimitri Bivol did, this is what Triple G did in their first 2 fights, but Charlo couldn't do it at this weight class. The cardio, the speed, and the power, he left it all back at 154. So let's talk about something that's actually more exciting than the fight, which is who is next for Canelo. I have 2 answers, but really only one. Let's cut the BS. I'm gonna need Canelo's next fight to be against one man and one man only. He is the man that I believe can beat Canelo, and if Canelo beats him, he'll get the utmost respect in boxing. And his name is the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. I don't care about anybody else, I just want Benavidez. Mark my words, once Benavidez destroys Demetrius Andrade, this fight should be booked next. Canelo has a 3-fight deal with the PBC, and there's no way this fight shouldn't happen. It's a clash of styles that will require toughness and IQ, plus the fans will love it. Who wouldn't want to see this fight? This is one of the best fights that can be made in boxing. The second option for Canelo would be Terrence Bud Crawford, but I'm not going to lie, I don't want to see it as Canelo's next fight. I understand the hype and the desire for it, but it shouldn't happen next. Bud came from 135 to 147. Ain't no way he's just going to jump up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo. I don't care how great you are, that is not a smart move. He's way too small for Canelo, and I'm talking about way too small. Even before the Spence fight, Bud said that he wasn't certain that he would want to go up and face Canelo at 168. Bud is not going to have the power to hurt Canelo and the cardio to outwork him. Even if Bud is the better boxer skill-wise, which I believe he is, but with the way that Canelo likes to fight, Bud is not going to outbox Canelo in the way that he thinks. He can't just be on the back foot and expect to defend against those big power shots and then counterpunch or pick him apart. Floyd was the only person to do that to Canelo, but that was when Canelo was younger and smaller. Bud needs to take a fight at 154 first and see how he performs at that weight before he can even be considered a serious opponent for Canelo. Only one name is next for Canelo, David Benavidez. If not, we riot. Simple. And that is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to what I have to say, and let me know, who would you like to see Canelo Alvarez fight next? Is Canelo still the face of boxing? Drop a comment and let me know in the comment section down below. Now, if you guys enjoy content that is related to combat sports, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you can't get enough of the content on this channel, please follow my Twitter for more content about fights that you do not want to miss. And other than that, it's been Steven, signing out. Peace.